Hello everyone and welcome to my unboxing and review of the Corsair CS450M power supply. Haven't done an unboxing video in a long time, so had this power supply up in my room for like 2 weeks, and I basically bought it for building up a new PC or a new very low power low consumption PC. And yeah, bought this one actually from eBay for around, I believe, 30 euros or 25 euros. I can't quite remember, but I got it I got it on the cheap, and this is a very high quality product. I've been using Corsair and Antec power supplies for a long time now, and they never failed on me. So Corsair does some pretty amazing power supplies out there. So if you are into PC building and you really need a very reliable power supply, I highly recommend you getting a Corsair module. And today we will be looking at this particular model. So as mentioned earlier, it's a CS, I think it stands for Corsair, I'm not quite sure. 450 means it runs like around 450 watts, or it can support to around 450 watts. M stands for modular. Modular means actually you can, I don't know if you can see it, you can plug in different cable configurations. So if you are running a Molex older PC, you can only plug in like Molex connections, or if you're running SATA like modern PCs do, you plug in your your SATA connections. So this one is actually like semi-modular. I will show you when I unbox it what I mean by that. Let's have a look at the box itself. Pretty standard box. It's ERP compatible, which means it consumes less power than needed. A few years warranty as expected with Corsair. Those things, they will outlive you probably. And of course it is 80 plus gold certificate, so pretty good specifications right out of the box. Right here you can see a chart of efficiency, and ours is gold. It's like here 80 plus gold certificate. Of course the best model is like platinum, like EX1, AX and HX, but those are more for like SLI setups. Alright, let's have a look at the box itself. As mentioned, this wasn't new, this was used, but it was very cheap to grab. And if you have a chance to grab a Corsair power supply, always go with it. So at the back we'll see some more specification. Basically you have here your 20 plus or 24 pin connection. This one goes into your motherboard. If you're running older vintage PCs, I believe you can also use this, but you have to unplug the 4 pin adapter over here. And yeah, but for vintage PCs like I'm using, I would recommend something like more like an older Antec Earth Watts, because that one has a lot of Molex connections, and this is what you want with your vintage PC. This one is more geared towards a very simple, yeah, maybe very simple PC, maybe not running like SLI setup and stuff like that. Then you have here your CPU connection. This one goes into your motherboard and fuels the CPU. Then you have one single PCI Express 8-pin connector, I believe. This one goes into your graphics card. If you're using a very power-hungry graphics card, you do want 2 of those, but you can connect it via Molex and then connect a second one on that. But I would not recommend this power supply if you're going for SLI setups. Just a simple PC really. For SATA connectors and 3 Molex, I believe. And here we have your floppy drive. I don't believe anyone is using a floppy drive in our day and age, but for retro PCs it's great because, you know, floppy disk and stuff. Installing Doom on a floppy drive was always a joy. Well, there you have the efficiency charts. Again, Corsair does a great job of efficiency, and also the big 120mm fan inside. It's very quiet, so you can't go wrong with that. Well, I will unbox it and show you the contents. Okay, so hold on a second. All right, and here it is, fully unboxed. Here is the power supply itself. As you can see, very nice design, all in black. If you have a black case, this one will fit very nicely into your case. Very nice logo over here as well. I always loved Corsair for their color coding. This one is like a very greenish acid green. Looks very nice inside your case anyway. The fan is very quiet, keeps your power supply very cool, and this is what you want to have. As you can see over here, this one is actually not a fully modular power supply. It's kinda semi-modular, which means here you can use the cables of your need, but those two cables are built into the power supply. Anyway, not a big deal, since you will absolutely need those two cables on newer systems anyway, and the power cable or the power cord is sleeved. If you have a black case, it will look fantastic, and it will help with airflow and whatnot. This is what the 24 plus connector. As you can see, you can actually dismount the 4-pin connector if you're using an older motherboard, but this one will fit right into your motherboard, so you will absolutely need this one. And if you have a good case like my what I'm using, an Entech 182, you can run the cables at the back of the case. So yeah, to the connection itself, you will get a standard power cord. You probably have one of these lying around anyway. You plug it into the back of your power supply. Yeah, standard stuff like here, and you have an on and off switch at the back. Okay, so the cable itself aren't sleeved, but they are like flat, as you can see here. The second one that is incorporated into the power supply, I believe it is the one going into the CPU. Yep, there you go, CPU. You will need this one for modern PCs as well. Plugs right into the CPU or right to the CPU socket and fuels the CPU. Then you have your cable connections, of course, for SATA. This is a cable with 2 SATA connections. You can plug it right down there. So if you're running SATA hardware, which most probably most of you will, you can connect a 2 SATA cable into the modular, and then you have a second 2 SATA connector which comes with it, so you can connect up to 4 SATA connections into this modular power supply. Then you have a 3-part Molex connector. If you are using Molex, guys, I know I do because I'm into retro gaming and retro PC gaming. I wouldn't recommend this power supply, but I would recommend a one with a lot of Molex, because in older PCs you have a lot of Molex devices and you want to use Molex as much as you want, but here you get 3 of them, so no problem there. And of course you have a adapter for using a Molex to floppy drive. Again, if you're I don't believe in modern system there is a need for any floppy drive, but it's nice to have nonetheless. And that's about pretty much it. You just connect the SATA or Molex configuration you want back here, connect this power supply with the 24 pin into your motherboard, and you're basically good to go. Very quiet, very reliable. Highly recommended if you want to build a simple PC running a single video card, maybe a 1050, a mini 1050 like that. It's perfect for that. So that pretty much wraps up my video. If you have any questions, just ask them in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you like the content you saw. Always helps out. And yeah, if you have any more questions, just ask away. This was my review of the Corsair CS450M power supply. Thank you very much for watching, and see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.